Amit, Anirudh, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. In the chat box, I am able to see. Yes, ma'am. Okay. You are able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
There is a generation gap. Okay, no problem. So, in a last class, already we are with 5th unit. Means the 4th unit I have not done. We have started directly with the 5th unit, theoretical part. That is project direction, coordination, and the control. So that is also plays an important role during the implementation phase. Yes, in a last class only we have discussed along with this sketch. Hardly few they have attended that class, I think so. So that implementation phase, we are dividing it into 3 sections. Initial stage, production period, and the closing period. What amount of a direction is there? What effort you are putting for coordination? How much effort is required for control during this implementation phase? We have studied in the last class. Do you agree with this, or it is just a theoretical part? Do you agree with this flow diagram, or it is just a theoretical part? In actual practice only, this will happen. In actual practice only, this will happen. Just you take an example of your cultural fest itself, any of the event. So far what you have done, 2 days before your event starts, was the conception. Right from your logo of your event, you will start the conception and planning, organizing everything during the implementation. So you need a lot of coordination, you need a lot of control, you need a lot of direction to make the event successful. So similarly, like how you have more amount of effort is required during the implementation phase or during the actual show, the same way during the the actual show starts now, starts now during the implementation phase. So it becomes very important. All three terms becomes very important. So the next one is how you are going to measure. Am I audible? Are you able to see my screen? I'll concise it. Okay. You are able to read it from the screen? Okay. So the next thing is performance indicator. How you are going to measure the performance of a project. So is it necessary to measure the performance of a project? Is it required when everything is planned? Why you are measuring the thing? Is it necessary to measure the performance of this thing, project? Yes or no? So what criteria you are following to measure the performance after the completion or during the completion of 80% of the work? You should start measuring the performance of your project. So for that, you need to follow some criteria. You need to follow based on what criteria you are going to measure your event. Tell me. Any answers in a chat box? Based on what criteria you are going to measure your event, which you are coordinating or conducting? What is the criteria you are using it for measuring? Any answers in a chat box? Any answers? Whether it is required, is it a must to? So it may be a number of entries what you have got. Based on that, you might be measuring. If it is an event based on number of audience, you will be measuring the performance of that event. So like this, you need to measure the performance of a project also. For that, you have some criteria, how you are going to measure your performance. So for that, we are using different criteria, that is time overrun, cost overrun, project sickness, productivity as a performance indicator, and value as a performance indicators. So these are some of the criteria. So these are some of the criteria we are using it for measuring the performance of a project. Performance indicator. Indicator means how it indicates. So first one is, so these are the tools, what you can say in our mechanical terms. So it is in terms of a management. In a mechanical terms, what we can say, we are going to, by using these tools, we are going to measure our project performance. Time overrun. What was the project time span which was fixed in the beginning of the project? Take an example of 2 years. Within 2 years, you are going to complete your project. So that was the time span planned for your project. If the time overruns, what happens? How it is going to affect the project? Whether it is the performance of the project was good if it exceeds the time. Any answers in a chat box? This is an interesting topic actually. Time overrun. I have planned my project for 2 years of time span. It crosses that time span. I will not be able to complete that project within 2 years of a time. I may take another 8 months of a time to complete that project. In that case, what are the effects on the project? Can anyone? Around 24. It is an interesting topic. I will give you some more examples when you start giving. Unmute. It's better to unmute and answer. Any ideas? How you are going to measure? As I gave you the example here, your event or the activity which you are coordinating for a department Oculus or the college event, maybe number of entries. You might be, that may be the performance measuring thing for your small project which you are. And for your final year project, what is the performance measure? When you complete successfully, when it gets implemented in the market or in the industry, then the performance was very good, or the idea generation, or the next modifications you can do, or the next any interesting new ideas can be put to solve our engineering problems or the management problems or any day-to-day problems what we are facing. So these are the performance. Among that, so similarly, we have the performance measuring tools or the indicators for the project also. Time overrun. If the project what I have planned for 2 years, it is taking a time of 2 years, 8 months, or nearly 3 years I took. So what are the effects on that project? How it is going to affect? Is it a good project? You are taking more time than what you have planned and you are bringing up a good quality projects or something? Any answers? Are you listening to me? Am I audible to you? Why all have become silent? I have logged in into the same thing, no? Project management, yes. Abhishek, Akhil, everyone tired listening to online classes? No active participation today because I have given a long break in between. Any answers for this? How it is going to affect? Or it will not affect? Yes or no? So if we are taking in a competitive world, if you are taking a more time and to complete your project, by that time somebody other someone else will capture your market. The time is very, very important. So you need to complete your project within the time itself. So time becomes one of the factor to measure the performance of your project. So that with that we are going to measure the performance. So what examples you can give already which the project has been started and you are not able to complete in time, so the project has got failed. Any examples you can give for this from the market? So what we are learning here, it is in and around us only, what is happening in the market. That itself we are learning in terms of the theory. Anyone can answer for this? Which are the products which are failed before they launched into the market because they have taken more time than what they have planned, or they have not planned only? Any examples? Earlier, when we were not having any competition, time was not a factor. Time was not a factor for us for completing our projects, which the real monuments of India and all of the projects. We had a lot of resources. There was no competition. So in those projects, time was not it was not a product what we were selling. But from our projects, we are selling the products. So, and there is a lot of competition for among the manufacturers. It is very, very important to complete your project within the time. The vendors and the contractors would only add to the confusion by promising the deliveries. So in that, suppliers and the vendors also you need to do the thing. The zero dates are not same, and the meaning of the completion may also differ from project to project. So the time, sometimes the time may be constrained for few projects and time may not be constrained for some other projects. Depending on the scope of a project, what you are carrying, it's better to complete within the time period what you have planned with, and you need to see the competitors for your project manufacturer, competitors of manufacturers for your project. Based on that, you need to complete your project. So the next, okay. Next constraint, are you able to see my screen? Are you able to see my screen? Okay. Okay, all are in a silent mode today, no problem. So the cost overrun. The situation, however, is not regarding the cost. While time you are ready to pay the money, but you should get the product within the time. So that time and cost are two major factors. Based on that, we are going to measure the performance. Sorry, I have a next class, that PPT I'm showing you. Okay. However, it is not, while time can be, sometimes when you have a longer span of time for the projects, so the time can be overrun, but the cost wise, as a budget wise, you cannot overrun. Overrun in the sense you have planned your budget for 2 crores, you are crossing the 2 crores budget for your project, then in that case it may not be possible to get that overrun cost of a project that you are put into difficulty, or you are not able to complete your project because of shortage of a budget or something. So for that also, the cost also overrun should not be there. Anything done to the project, including the time overrun, would be reflected in the cost also. So these two are very, very important. If the project is not managed well, its cost will go up. You are not able to utilize the resources effectively, then definitely your cost of a project will go up or will overrun the plan, what you have planned for. If the project is managed well, its cost should come down. Therefore, the cost can be used as the indicator for the project management for measuring the performance of the project. But the cost estimate in the project, as we have discussed before, are to be revised. So if it is cost overrun, when it happens, sometimes can be managed. So your project span is too long because of change in the cost or the market fluctuations. The cost will vary when the project runs for a longer time. In that case, you need to plan for that also. You need to include this cost of a project also when you are budgeting for your project in the beginning of the planning stage itself. Depending on within the 2 years of a time, if you are able to complete your project, not much of a fluctuation of rates will be there for whatever the resources it is required for completion of the project. If the span increases, the fluctuations in the rate which is required for your project may vary. Definitely it will vary. It goes on a higher side. For that, you need to include those fluctuations when you are planning your budget in the beginning itself, only when the span is longer. So the cost overrun as well as time overrun, these two are the major performance indicators for measuring the project performance. Time, if exceeds the time, you may not be having a market, or the new technology may come, new product may come to the market. Time overruns. You are not able to, whatever the research, what you are done, survey you are done, based on that, some areas you have got, based on your survey, what you have done, there you can sell your products in some of the areas. But by that time, your project completes, somebody else may take the advantage of that, and they come up very early and they will capture the market what you are planned for. For that, time is very, very important, and cost is also, these two, time and cost, are the two faces of a coin. These two you need to complete within the time. Cost overrun, if it goes over budgeted, then you may not be able to complete, because already you have hired so much of a loan and all, you will be taken so much of a credits, you are taken it from the things. So that in that case also you need to utilize, when you can complete your project within the time, within the cost what you have planned, is you should, that is what is the project sickness. You need to, what is the main objective of a project manager is he has to utilize the resources what is required for the project very efficiently and very effectively. Only then the project will not do the cost overrun also and time overrun also. The project sickness, because anything goes over the planned one, so you will not be able to complete your project, or shortage of a budget or a shortage of a time. So those shortage of a budget is you can arrange somewhere else, but the shortage of a time, by that time your market will be captured by the others. Again, you need to struggle a lot to market your products. That may not happen. So an effective project manager, for the project sickness, an effective project manager is one who makes the best possible use of resources given to him for achieving the project objectives. So whatever the project manager does, with one respect to the resources will be reflected. Whatever, how he is utilizing, how efficient he is in utilizing the resources which are required for, whether it is maybe a manpower or a material utilization or a time utilization or cost utilization. All these are the 5 M's what we will say: men, machines, materials, money, and the time. So all these resources must be utilized very efficiently, effectively. That is the major objective of a project manager. If at all, if he is not utilizing any of the things, so the project will go under sickness. So the project may not be able to complete. So the many sick industries. So many sick industries you might be seeing in and around Belgaum itself. Sick industries will be again revamped and reutilized. So that kind of a things may come for the project. That should not happen. You should make use of the available resources effectively. That is the main objective of the project manager. Then productivity as a performance indicator. So when your project is running, so productivity, what is productivity? Can anyone answer for this? What is productivity as a performance indicator? What is productivity? So this is again one more criteria. So these are the different criteria, these are different indicators what we are using to measure the success of the project. Productivity as a performance. So installed cost per ton also reflects the productivity of the project execution, just as operating cost per ton reflects the productivity of an operating plant. So the productivity of a performance of a project also affects. This is also one of the indicator what we can use it for measuring, like how we are, what is the turnover, how you are calculating the turnover. In the similar way, so you need to do it, the productivity as a performance indicator. So the last one is value as a performance indicator. I don't know how many of you are listening to me. There is no response absolutely this time. So value in the sense quality after your product has been launched into the market. So the quality of your product also can be one of the criteria for measuring the success of the project. So you might be completed within the time, within the cost, your productivity is good, but your quality of a product, if it is not good, so which you are releasing to the market having many defects in it, then the customers may not respond or you may not capture the market because the feedback is so fast nowadays. So, so whatever your online products, whatever you are buying and selling, many feedbacks based on that, what you call that as a, so based on that also the quality, if you are not able to give, then the value, what value they are paying to buy your product, so that if it is not satisfying their quality, what they expected from that product, so in that case also you may lose the market. So that value also becomes one of the quality, also becomes one of the criteria for measuring the performance of your project. So these are the different indicators. This is an important question again for your final exam or for your internals. For measuring the project performance. Can you give any examples? Can you give any examples of out of any criteria? Many examples why so many projects have failed and so many projects are successful. Why you are able to get the Apple phones? Tell me. Even though the cost of the product is high, they are kept hardly small percentage of a market they are having, and they are growing towards the smaller to medium because of the high cost. Why still the phones are in a demand? Tell me. So instead of buying the low quality products, so it is one time investment, you will go for the higher end products. Why? Because the quality of that project is very good. The performance of that product, how you are going to measure? So whatever the money you are investing to buy that product, that is giving a good return, good amount of a return to you. It may be the initial cost may be little on a higher side. So everyone may not be able to afford, but the quality products you are going to get. So you are releasing the products with a reduced cost, but it is not able to satisfy the customers with a quality. Then only for a few years, your product will be there in the market. Again, you need to see or improve the quality of your existing product, or you need to go for a other thing. So that kind of, all these factors are very, very important, whether it is a time, whether it is a cost, whether it is a project, sickness, utilization, project sickness in the sense, effective utilization of the resources. Effective utilization of the resources. If you are not able to utilize it, resource. Time is also one of the resource. Cost is also one of the resource. But here all the resources you need to utilize it very effectively. So the productivity is also one of the major criteria for measuring the thing. Value in the nothing but quality of the project. Can anyone give the examples after Deepavali? All are in silent mode. More sweets you had or something? You are tired? Okay. Any examples you can give for this? Any examples you can give?
Ma'am, Tesla.
Okay. Shall I conclude my today's class with the performance indicators? In next class, we will take up the value engineering. Okay, or the project environment. We are into the 5th unit. We have come to the performance measurements of our projects. So it is again theoretical part which is available in your S. Chaudhary, but it is spread among your which units? Among the 2 units it has spread around. So just you need to go through the textbook of S. Chaudhary itself. So whatever the 5 units we are doing, so all these are available in your S. Chaudhary, and we will be, I will be sharing the thing. Okay. So when is your internals, second internals? Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Let me conclude today's class instead of dragging. Okay. Thank you, everyone.